Now we all know Loki the God of Mischief has a lot of gold accents and accessories. In today's video, I'm gonna teach y'all how to make his signature shoulder piece and his signature daggers and how to get that nice gold shine and finish. And this doesn't only apply to Loki. If you guys have any 3D printed props that you need to have a nice gold shine and finish, after today's video, you'll definitely know how to do that. Let's get into it. First things first, we got scaling. How did I make these models look the way they are, and how did I make them fit my body? As for the shoulder piece right here, all I did was get an old Loki shoulder piece that came with the cosplay. I did the length and the width of this, and then I got those measurements and put it right onto here into Cura, into the software. And once I did that, I knew it was already gonna fit because I already had a reference point. Now, as for the daggers, all I did was just print it out at 100%. It already looked small in the model. I was gonna enlarge it, but it already looked small inside the model, inside Cura, so I didn't have to change anything. I just printed it at 100% and it was perfectly fine. And now that you know how I actually scaled these things, let's go into Cura and see how I actually printed them. So as you can see here, this is how I printed it. I printed it standing up. Always print standing up because you get the maximum survivability with the least amount of filament used. You always want to save materials any way you can, so print it standing up. I use tree supports because it used least amount of filament and it branches out to make sure everything gets supports where they need. Plus it supported the design, so nothing's hanging off, nothing's failing. As we can go to the back here, you see this white line right here, that's the seam line. You always want to put the seam line in the back because you have a design in the front, you don't want the seam line to show. So to make it not show, it puts it in the back and it makes sure the print can actually print out, because without a seam line, your print will never print. And that's basically it. It took about 20 hours to print, and it printed straight up as itself. As you can see, it just goes straight up, straight up, straight up. Then it branches off here because it has a little ledge, and it goes straight up as well. It keeps going, and that's about it. Nothing really too crazy about the shoulder piece printing out. Just make sure you print it standing up, make sure your seam line's in the back, and make sure you always use tree supports. Now we got the Loki blade. As for the blade, I printed out the hilt first. So as you can see here, again, I printed it standing up. Always print standing up. I have the seam line in the back. No matter where you put the seam line on this prop, it will always show. It doesn't matter if you put it on the side, the back, the front, it will show. But thank God this was not that hard to sand. You can sand this easily, so it's not really a big deal. Then we have it flipped over because we have this little piece right here, so it was easy to take these supports off, just clip it off, and nothing really too crazy. It took about an hour, 2 hours to do this, and it just goes straight up on itself. No supports even needed. It just really just circled around and just went up on itself with the infill, and that's about it for that. Now as for the blade, I put the seam line on the side because I couldn't put it on the back or the front because it'll show. So on the side it won't really show. Then I use no supports as well because as you can see here, it just goes straight up on itself, and that's basically it. It took an hour to print this out. I recommend always printing standing up, and always make sure to evaluate your print before to make sure it'll actually survive, and that's all you need to do. We're back, and now we got sanding. So what I did for sanding is I got me a 120 grit. As you can see here, I just dry sanded crazy. Then from there I went up to 150 grit, then dry sand again, dry sand crazy. Then from there, go up to my goat, the 240 grit, and make sure you get your finishing touches and dry sand everything down. And that's how you get this really smooth finish. Let me see if it'll focus. That really smooth, nice finish, no layer lines showing, and it'll just look clean. And that's about it for the sanding of the dagger. Now, as for the shoulder piece, I did not sand the shoulder piece at all because it has this big design. And if I were to sand the shoulder piece down, this whole design would just get destroyed. So I just went with not sanding it and just putting heavy coats of primer, like 4 to 5 coats of primer on this, and it just came out really perfect. You can, if you get really close, you can see layer lines, but I chose not to sand it because it has this cool design and I don't want to mess the design up. And finally, we got painting. So what I did is I got me a 2-in-1 filler and sandable primer. I really like this primer because if you have any mess ups, you can just sand right back over it, and you can just keep doing that over and over again. You can also get filler primer right here, but I really highly recommend 2-in-1 filler and sandable. It fills in really well and you can sand it back down. Then I got me a black gloss. I don't actually have the can. I'll throw up the picture of the can right here. It's literally just the same. It just says black gloss instead of white. So I got me a black gloss bear paint, used that as an undercoat, and then I went with the Rust-Oleum gold, just a basic gold Rust-Oleum color. It does its job perfectly and nothing really to complain about. It's a really good gold color, and that's about it for all the gold accents of everything I painted with. And as for this chrome look right here, all I did was use a white gloss base coat, and then from the white gloss base coat, I used a Rust-Oleum metallic chrome paint. I don't actually have it. It looks just like this with a chrome lid. I'll throw a picture right here. So I used those two, and I use this method for a bunch of my projects. As you see in Prowler, I'll throw up a picture of it. I use that like chrome look. It really makes the chrome shine if you use a white gloss undercoat, and that's how I got that really chrome like metal look under, and that's about it. And now a little bit of a bonus, we got the assembly of it all. So for the assembly, I just put Loctite on the back of this, and then I put another strip of Velcro on the actual Loki suit, and then I just slapped it both on. Nothing really too crazy about the assembly of that. For this, I also used Loctite because these two pieces were not together. So I put Loctite, heavy coats of Loctite, stuck it in, and now I'm pulling it, it's not coming out at all. So I highly recommend y'all get you some Loctite. I never can stress it enough in every single one of my videos. Get yourself some Loctite, you will not regret it because this glue is insanely good. So that's gonna do it for this video. This is a little short and sweet video on how to make these accessories and how to make the gold on these accessories shine and pop. Shout out to my brother, I put him right here because without him, I wouldn't know how to do these undercoats. He told me these undercoats to use and I do not regret it at all. The file is gonna be from DO3D and it's gonna be from Etsy. I'll put it right here and right here, and it also is gonna be in the link in the description down below. I just wanted to make this video before LA Comic-Con because after this video, I'm gonna be jam-packed and making a new cosplay. It's coming soon, stay tuned for that. But here's some pictures of Loki right here with the new accessories. Thank you guys so much for all the support on the last video. You guys went crazy. I'm gonna put it up right here as well. And I can't thank you guys enough. You guys give me the motivation to stay consistent, to keep grinding, keep dropping these videos, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, your night, whenever y'all motherfuckers is watching this video. And as always, DMB on top. Peace.